Last week, we took a journey through a century of holiday retail. Today, we're taking the next step. Because before the 2000s pushed holiday retail into overdrive, Black Friday was already reshaping the entire season. And as we move from that history into the 2000s and eventually into the world we're living in now, you'll see exactly how these shifts created the December we feel today. Even now, years later, even after COVID, those changes still show up every holiday season. Welcome to Sorry, It's Discontinued, the podcast that brings you the reality of retail, the real stories, real pressure, and the real people from behind the counter. I'm Hillary, a former luxury beauty manager, sharing the hidden truths of life in retail, plus the heart and history behind the stores, products, and brands we love. Sorry. It's Discontinued. Before we get into the 2000s and how holiday retail went into full overdrive, we need to talk about something that is happening actually tomorrow. Because if you're listening to this episode today, which is, what is today? It is November 27th, 2025. That's when I'm posting this episode, even though I'm recording it a few days early. But that means if you're listening to it on Thanksgiving Day or Friendsgiving, whatever you want to call it, then tomorrow is Black Friday. So by the time you hear this, we're all gearing up for it. It's the one day where every associate, including me, including you, my retail crew, including all of our entire retail family, is officially on post. But before we talk about what Black Friday became, we need to talk about where it started and what it actually meant long before the chaos and the 3 a.m. openings. If I am missing anything, please let me know. You can send this information to sorryitsdiscontinued.com. So going back, way back to the 1960s in Philadelphia, Black Friday was not a celebration at all. The Philadelphia police actually coined the term because it was the day after Thanksgiving and it brought gridlocked traffic, overwhelmed sidewalks, packed department stores, and a city that felt impossible to control. It was chaotic and exhausting. The chaos happened because at the same time that people were flooding into the city for the Army-Navy football game that apparently happens every Saturday after Thanksgiving, shoppers were also heading to the stores to start shopping for the holidays. So Philadelphia was completely overwhelmed by the flood of people. Because of all of this, they called it Black Friday because the city basically shut down under the weight of all the crowds. Then, as this continues into the 70s, the name spreads. The term Black Friday started slipping into newspapers outside of Philadelphia. But the retailers hated it. They even tried renaming it Big Friday. But the public, they no likey. The name Black Friday stuck and spread across the country. Retailers tried to create the now famous idea that bombed. Black Friday is the day stores go from red to black, meaning loss to profit, struggling, thriving. Was it true? No, it was a total PR stunt. But over time, consumers ate it up, and it made the day sound profitable instead of chaotic. So by the 90s, malls were booming with Black Friday promotions. News stations were broadcasting live from parking lots. Doorbusters appeared, early openings started, and the line around the building moment became a badge of honor for stores. Black Friday officially became the biggest shopping day of the year. And we can't forget who gets the shitty end of the stick. Oh, wait, Black Friday? That's right. The shitty end of the stick? The associates. because their holiday schedules expanded right along with Black Friday. And that tradition led us into the 2000s, the decade where Black Friday didn't just grow, it fucking exploded. Why this matters today. Because even though Black Friday started as Philadelphia chaos, it became the event that reshaped holiday retail schedules for decades. It created earlier openings, longer shifts, mandatory availability, Thanksgiving creeping into the schedule, the belief that workers should sacrifice their holiday for the biggest day. Black Friday is the reason the 2000s became what they were. It's really the backbone of the holiday marathon. And even now in 2025, we're still living under the shadow of that transformation. And with Black Friday tomorrow, I just want to say this. If you're working, I'm thinking of you. I'm sending you the biggest hug. And if you're exhausted already, yeah, because it can be exhausting depending on where you're working, what store you're going into, and the hours you're working tomorrow. They might be adding overtime just to entice you. Probably not. It's kind of rare nowadays, but you are not alone. You are part of a retail community that understands this day better than anyone. And I'm there with you, my friend. Now that we kind of know where Black Friday came from, let's talk about the era that turned holiday retail into a full-blown machine. Because once the 2000s arrived, everything changed so fast. Holiday retail stopped feeling like a busy season. It started feeling like corporate strategy and overdrive. The 2000s, it's kind of a blur, but holidays at that time were nuts. It was just constant go, go. You have bosses showing up. You have to have things look presentable. There could be corporate pop-ins. It was stressful. In the early 2000s, it didn't just increase the workload. They literally almost like re-engineered December in a way because technology sped up. Expectations, of course, doubled or tripled. Events, they got bigger. And every bit of it landed on the associate's shoulders and the manager's shoulders, honestly. Stores rolled out new register systems, digital clienteling, email marketing. The beginning of online shopping was starting to take off. And retailers weren't just competing with each other anymore. They were trying to outrun the internet too. And when competition rises, so does scheduling. The major stores at this time, every store had to really compete and they all had their own personality. But the pressure for all of them, of course, universal. So now let's look at Neiman Marcus, holiday glamour on steroids. This was luxury at peak holiday energy. The Fantasy Gifts catalog, it became a national spectacle. Dallas socialites, VIP clients, celebrities like Oprah, Jennifer Aniston, Gwyneth Paltrow, Reese Witherspoon, Kris Jenner, all holiday shopped there. Associates weren't just ringing sales, they were hosting holiday moments with zero room for mistakes, mind you, and very high expectations, personal service, champagne level treatment, all during the busiest month of the year. Now, Saks Fifth Avenue, holiday spectacle. The windows became a world famous attraction in New York City, and their annual light show, it stopped traffic. Celebrities and designers all packed Fifth Avenue. Even Sir Elton John performed during one of their holiday premieres. Beautiful for the public, exhausting for the staff, who stayed late perfecting visuals, crowd control, and press moments, while making sure all of their clients had everything they need. Now let's look at Nordstrom. Nordstrom customer service reputation, it meant December required patience and flawless attention. Even when the floor was packed, celebrities showed up depending on the city. John Legend and Chrissy Teigen, Gwen Stefani, Heidi Klum, NFL and NBA players. Associates were juggling high-touch service with nonstop crowds. Then you add in Macy's, American holiday culture. Then you add in Macy's, American holiday culture. Macy's, the parade, Broadway performers, tourists everywhere. Mariah Carey, the unofficial queen of Christmas, was iconic and completely overwhelming for workers. Then Dillard's, generational expectations, Arkansas, Texas, all around the country, local personalities, longtime family shoppers and customers who expected perfect etiquette, perfect presentation, and perfect service. Holiday shopping at Dillard's was a tradition, and associates carried the weight of upholding it. Now, at all these stores, the pattern is always the same. Extended December hours, early morning rallies, overnight floor moves, gift wrap marathons, a lot of events, brand events stacked on top of store events. You start hearing full availability. We're staying later. We're opening earlier. We need weekends. Blackout dates apply. There's an event. You have to be here. Translation: cancel December, my fellow friend associate. The store now owns it. And of course, none of the executives felt this or feel this, in my opinion. The weight always falls on the associates, people rearranging childcare, missing traditions. There were many nights that I decorated late until midnight, eating dinner late after everybody's gone to bed, squeezing family time into like quick breaks, exhausted, and all while trying to prove myself. We're my fellow coworkers, proving ourselves to managers and brands and corporate, all at the expense of our friends and family during a time where you're supposed to be celebrating with them. But the 2000s, this era taught so many of us that December is not yours. But things change. And that's when the world literally stopped in March 2020. So in March 2020, retail went silent. Lights off, doors locked, malls empty. Associates were furloughed, laid off, hiring freezes, unsure if their jobs would even return, watching longtime stores close permanently. Sadly, everything, it was so uncertain. And when the holiday season arrived that year, it was unlike anything retail we had ever seen. There were masks everywhere, and they were quite ugly until I found some really cute ones. There were capacity limits, appointment-only shopping, curbside pickup taking over, fewer associates, more responsibility. Tired, tired, tired. But it shifted retail history for the first time ever. Holiday hours, they shrank. A lot of stores gave up Black Friday midnight madness craziness. Black Friday was actually calmer. Truth is, because online shopping was driving the force. The pace in the store, it felt more human. And a lot of us felt something we hadn't felt in a really long time. Speaking for myself, it was a bit of a relief. And I really enjoyed that holiday season in retail. Not because it was easy, but because we weren't stretched so thin. And because the post-COVID holidays, something big happened. Fragrance exploded. And at that time, I was working at Tom Ford. And we had one of our best years ever and exceeded our goals. It was amazing. It was wonderful. We had a lot of fun. And our clients, they were shopping for gifts that really felt meaningful because everybody was looking for something to pull them out of this COVID funk. And fragrance, it's the one thing you need to experience it in person. So during the holidays post-COVID, fragrance, it became the heart of holiday, and it really brought sales back in a fury. But that momentum, of course, it's grown, pressure builds, and things change. Looking at today's holiday pressure, it isn't just about hours anymore because so much is changing. Stores are facing declining traffic and rising theft, payroll, and budget cuts. So it is affecting everyone, and it puts more responsibilities on associates and managers, I think. Yes, it does. And instead of supporting teams, many retailers tightened control, and it just continues the retail loop. Companies struggle, companies tighten, workers lose control. And now, as we are here at the holidays again, workers face a painful truth with schedules. And some companies and leaders genuinely believe associates don't need flexible schedules. And some even believe that associates don't need weekends off. I don't understand that. I couldn't disagree more. How do you not have a weekend off every once in a while? Having a weekend off, it offers their team emotional oxygen, for one, family time, community. What if you want to go to church? Recovery, sanity, your mental sanity. Taking them away, even in December, especially December or any time of the year, it just tells your associates your life outside the store. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. We own you. Your life outside the store, it does not matter. And that is not true. I call bullshit. We do not live to work. And now that makes me so mad. I just don't understand how people could think that not having time with your family and friends or just alone time is important. It is important for everybody. Now, let me tell you what it felt like when a company actually got this right for me. So, when I joined Saks Fifth Avenue in 2015, I experienced something I had never really felt in retail and the stores that I had worked for before, which I had been working for quite some time. It was over 12 years already at that point in retail. But I had never experienced what I felt at this time, which was support. My manager in Saks at that time gave me a consistent weekly day off. So I always knew I had this day off, which gave me flexibility for appointments, for my kids, things I needed to do at home, especially for my kids. They also gave me a rotating weekend off a month so I could plan family time or just things for myself. And that was a weekend off that I would rotate with my coworkers and my teammates. So everybody had a weekend off. We all kind of look forward to it. When's your weekend off? Oh, I'm off this weekend. It was beautiful. And I didn't realize how healing that was until I lived it. And at that time in my life, which everybody goes through different things, it was a really hard time. It was just really hard. And having that balance to have time off, to do the things that I needed to do, made the world of difference. And it made December especially magical. It gave me balance. Now, everyone's story is different, and I know every store is different, But for me at that time, that humane scheduling, it really created loyalty for me. I was proud of the store and people I worked for. I was more dedicated and it gave me genuine stability. Retailers completely underestimate how powerful schedules are for their associates and for them. It builds loyalty and people want to work harder when you know your bosses support what you need. Now, despite all of this crazy retail, holiday history, and Hillary's very passionate feelings about weekends off, I love December. December in retail can bring something together just so beautiful. The stores are decorated. The people in the store are wearing more color. Every year, the store just softens. Customers can get kinder unless they're stressed and in a hurry to buy their last minute gifts. But for the most part, customers are kinder. They show you appreciation. They might even bring you gifts or cookies and are just so thankful for you and bring cards. Teams pull closer. You exchange gifts with each other and share how much you appreciate each other. Ugly sweaters come out, and that can be so fun. Sparkly makeup appears. Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love a sparkly red lip? Sparkly gold on the eyes. And magically, you start to get maybe a little more gratis, depending on how kind and generous your brand or store is. Now, would bonuses be amazing? A little extra money in your pocket other than sell, sell, sell. That's how you make more, more, more. But actual money in your pocket, oh yeah, that would be incredible. And do retail workers deserve them? Oh, 1,000%. Oh yeah, sign me up. I'm a big fan. But even without that, the heart of retail, it does shine in December. Connection, humor, resilience, and this unspoken throughout the store. We are in this together. Unless you're going to take my sale, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. We're in this together. That is the magic retail workers create, even under pressure. Oh, this is a fun episode. I really like talking about all this stuff. Now, before I leave you to enjoy your beautiful holiday, if you're listening to this today, 11/27/2025, happy Thanksgiving, happy Friendsgiving, happy giving, whatever it is that you celebrate. But I want to take you on a trip, a little field trip next week, because I am highlighting one of my favorite stores I've ever stepped into. I am so excited and keep talking about it. I was thinking I could do a bonus episode, but I don't have the energy. I just can't. Once a week is like a lot for me. But anyway, next Thursday, I am going to walk you through a store that literally feels like Christmas all by itself. Because I really hope people will go there and just experience it. And I hope that they're not going to close it. I don't know, but you have to see it before they close, if they close it. But it's a place where luxury meets history and where you truly feel like you're stepping back in time with its beautiful architecture and incredible story. Oh, yeah. Neiman Marcus, downtown Dallas. The original, the one and only. You've got to go talk to the people that work there. They're just adorable. Everybody just loves the store. I am so excited. And I might have to wing it because the book I ordered is probably going to be late. So anyway, I can just research Google and try to go to another bookstore, but that's okay. Anyway, I love you all so much. And I thank you so much for spending time with me on this holiday or whatever day you end up listening. And I can't wait to have a seat with you next Thursday, my retail friend. All right. Bye. Thanks for listening to Sorry It's Discontinued, where we honor the voices, stories of those who've lived life behind the counter in retail. If you've loved this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with a fellow retail warrior. You can support the show at buymeacoffee.com/sorrypodcast, or you can leave me a message at sorryitsdiscontinued.com if there's anything you want me to talk about, or even be a guest on the show. Now, the views, opinions, and personal experiences shared on this podcast are my own and those of my guests. They do not reflect the views of any current or former employers, brands, or companies that may be mentioned. All stories are shared with care, honesty, and respect. Names, titles, or identifying details may be changed to protect privacy. Now, thank you for sitting with me today. I'm sending you lots of love, retail crew. Kindness is contagious. So spread your beautiful smiles, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Sorry. It's discontinued.